Hi guys, I'm Dave. This is Admir from UTS Equipment. We are going to give you a real world test for the T25's loader lift capacity. We have this awesome scale that we found somewhere, and we're gonna weigh the pallet, a set of Ironcraft 2K rated forks, and a bunch of 50-pound bags of salt. So, go ahead and lead us off here.
All right, so the T25, TYM's #1 selling tractor. It's the successor to the 264. Lift capacity on them is the same, loader is the same. Tractor's got some differences, but this tractor is rated for 1,380 pounds of loader lift capacity. The one we're using here does not have any counterweight. The tires, rear tires are not loaded, so we are trying to see how much actual weight it will lift without me shooting off the back of it, without the back end coming up, and we'll get into it. So, first thing, they mentioned this awesome scale that we have. Let's weigh our pallet. This pallet weighs, it says 46.5, we'll call it 45 pounds. Next, let's weigh our forks. These are Ironcraft compact tractor pallet forks. Forks are at about 120. Total weight of the forks and frame, 245 pounds. We said the pallet was 45 pounds, puts us at a total of 290 pounds. Without lifting a single pebble of rock salt, 290 pounds of weight. Let's get these set up, Dave. Anytime you're using any sort of pallet forks, one of the most common things that happens is exactly what Dave just checked right there to make sure that the lock pins on the skid steer quick connect are engaged. If one is not engaged, this whole thing can pop off, you tweak your loader, you get hurt. You always, always, always want to make sure that those lock pins are engaged. Probably should grease this thing before it started. See, Dave will do better than I did. Look at that. Pallet. So what we're lifting here today is rock salt. Each of these bags is labeled as 50 pounds. I'll put one on the scale so you can see how much it weighs. The scale says 54 pounds. We'll call each 50 pounds. Now, most loaders from any tractor company have a rated lift capacity at the hinge pin, so basically back here. Forks obviously take that weight and shift it forward. It's increasing the leverage and decreasing your lift capacity. We want this test to simulate the real world. You have a pallet of stuff in the back of your pickup truck, getting it out of it. Let's see how much it can lift. So we're gonna spread the weight of the rock salt out fairly evenly to simulate a real world pallet. $250, 300, 400 pounds. We'll start here, Nick. Let's see how the T25 handles 400 pounds of salt and a 290 pound setup puts us at 690, 700 pounds of total weight. £400, let's make it 600. Well, this one's spilling. 500. 550. 600 pounds. Don't like going much higher than that. I can feel the back end is bouncing. It can definitely lift more weight. Obviously, I haven't been thrown out of the seat yet, but I don't want to go much higher because I can feel the back end of the tractor bouncing. So, keep adding weight. 600, 650, 750, 800 pounds. Plus a set of forks puts us at 1100. I'm impressed. $850, $900, make it $1,000. $950, 1,000 pounds of salt, 290 pounds, everything else. We are at almost 1,300 pounds. So, I'm glad everybody got to see that. That emphasizes the importance of counterweight and loaded rear tires, and also the ground that you do this kind of work on. We're on a perfectly paved concrete slab here. It's level. There's no chance of any sort of weird ground collapsing around us. And you can see how hairy that moment got when the back of the tractor started coming up. Just because these things are rated for that lift capacity, that does not mean that you should be counting on doing that in the real world, in the real environments that you use these tractors. This is meant to show just really what it can do, and it did it. We're at 1,000 pounds, plus the 300 pounds of everything else, 1,300 pounds. It's rated for 1,380. With counterweight, can it do more? Yes. Can it do it safely? With counterweight? Yes, probably. I'm not going to speak to that, but we wanted to take this moment and show you guys exactly what it can lift, what you can expect out of this tractor if you buy it. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Dave.